Alrighty, so we, you will get the most out of this class if you take the time to set up just like this. So you get one chair facing the back of the chair in, you get a second chair facing in with a decent amount of space between, so not too close together, not too far apart so that you can't reach them. Morning, Gail. And then a third chair for sitting. And if you take the time to create this setup, you'll be able to flow perfectly with all the exercises in the best possible way. So I highly recommend you get two chairs with the backs of the chairs facing in so you can have a hand on either side. And then that third chair for sitting. Scoot to the front edge of that sitting chair. And breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. We practice Zhongjung or central upright. So taking any slouchiness that's happening in the body and tipping the pelvis a little forward, chest a little up, chin a little down, that brings everything into that alignment. It's a really important component to walking. Because if we have our line, our Zhongjung central upright line that gets us down to the ground, then we can very precisely, I won't say easily, but eventually it can feel easy, but we can precisely interface with the ground, right? But for instance, if I'm just a little bit off with my posture, I've made it quite a bit more difficult to interface with the ground. Whereas when I'm vertical like this, then all I need to do is make a small adjustment here, and now my weight is there and I can step, and then a small adjustment here. But as soon as I'm in a position like this, now I can kind of do that, but my muscles are having to work overtime to keep the body upright. So really, really important that we don't lose Zhongjung, central upright, over time. And that's what this first series of exercises helps with. We'll go right into it. Slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, right? We do this little series every time. Go ahead and slide your hands forward, hollow the chest, drop the head, round the back. And let's do that 4 or 5 more times. Again, we do this in every class because this is the center, this is the infrastructure of the body, the ability for us to not get stuck in some part of this, some range of this position that is not ideal, right? So we have to break up the residue and the impediment. We have to wake up the ability to control and adjust the spinal column in this direction. So this is the arching and the rounding, right? And then we're back to neutral, and we go into the second exercise, sliding left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, twist, and then switch. So same concept. We got to make sure we're not twisted and torqued in one direction and stuck like that, right? That's going to impede our ability to move, to have center, to have balance. So turning left and turning right. Simple concept. The difficulty is for us to do the practice, to do it every day or even a couple times a day. Right? I imagine with Parkinson's, it would be a great idea to have 2, 3 different times a day where you just spend 8 minutes sitting, correcting your posture, breathing, doing a few of these mechanical upgrades, and then going about your day. Come back to middle. Hang your arms loose. Let's shift the weight to the right buttock, lean, float the left wrist up, left foot empty. And then we'll switch. Shift, lean. Shift, lean. Same idea. Break up the residue. Break through wherever those limits are. We have self-imposed limits in our range. One more each side. And back to middle. Bring the legs together. Let's loosen up this upper chassis with the arm circles. Float arms forward, out, around, and in. Hopefully you don't bang into your chairs here. Forward, circle. Then let's go to the second level. Forward, up, chest level, big open. Turn the palms forward, slide the arms down. Right, palms forward there. And then neutral. Forward, backs of hands face each other. Come up, arms are internally rotated. Turn palms flat to the ground. And then by the time the arms get behind you, turn your palms forward and come down behind. Neutral. Let's do one more of those. And then just your full range, whatever that is today. Forward, up, way up, open. Loosening up again, this junction, chest, arm, shoulder, shoulder blade. That's just a usual suspect for glue, impediment, barnacles, binding. It makes us top heavy. So we want to just gently, we don't want to crank it and injure it and overdo it. We just want to loosen up that area. One more. And remember here, James, when you come up, rather than taking your arms out like that, keep them together the whole way as long as you can. And then open. Yep, that's right. All the way out, all the way down, and release. And then let's do our legs. Scoot back on your chair a little bit. Load your right leg. Lift it. Take your hands, grab the knee, and draw the leg up a little bit more. Flexed foot. Open the hands and push. Reload that leg. Pull up and in with the hands. And then set that foot down, and we'll switch to the other side. Load. Use your hands to draw a little further. Flexed foot. Open the hands. Push. Reload. Down. Load. Use the hands to get that extra little load. Open the hands. Push. Reload. Down. Other leg. Load. Push. Load. Down. And foot and ankle range of motion. Extend your right leg. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. And then tilt the foot in. Out. In. Out. Tilt. Circle. In, around, and out. A few times. Reverse, out, around, and in a few times. Down. Other leg, extend, point, and flex. Tilt a little in, tilt out. Circle. Reverse that circle. And again, the more you do these, hopefully they start to feel very familiar, right? We want to get familiar with our warm-up exercises so that we don't have to rethink we're relearning them every time. They start to become second nature. Now go a little wider apart in your stance. Lift the toes, and you're going to turn on the heels. Turn toes and knees in, and then turn toes and knees out. So where we want the major change to be happening is where your thighs plug into your pelvis. They call that the qua in Tai Chi. So that's where a lot of people have stuck, and then when they walk, they're forced to sort of like a penguin walk around. Whereas when you have this space in here, you can change your weight, you can shift, you can adjust. And so it really helps with balance, and it helps with walking as well. So it's one of the most important exercises. This one and then the next one. So we've got spiraling, rotating this hip space, and then come back to neutral. And now the legs don't move, but fold from the hips, hip hinge, and sit back vertical, and then tip back. Do that again. Fold from the hips. Make sure you're muted here, everyone. Folding from the hips and tipping back. Right, so that same junction where the legs and pelvis meet, we need to have free, we need to have movable, rather than glued and stuck. All right, now standing up and sitting down. So hang those loose arms, slide the feet back a little, fold from the hips, come forward enough so the weight gets down to the ground, and stand all the way vertical. And then from those same hips, hinge, fold, sink, and land. We're going to do that a few times. Fold, rise all the way up, fold, down. Primary direction is down, meaning we're always making sure we're aware of what is plugged into the earth, right? So now it's the feet, 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 and then it changes to the buttocks through the chair because the feet are no longer plugged in. And then when I fold, now it's the feet again, and they stay plugged in. Now, do that same mechanic, except don't sit in your chair. So fold and sink down and use this to get close to the floor, maybe even touch the toes or floor, and then all the way to standing, and then importantly, hips forward. So that we have this forward position, and then we have middle, and then we have hips back and sink. And standing. And again, just like our foot and ankle range of motion or a shoulder range of motion, the hip range of motion. We want to make sure we have this whole range. Hips forward, back. And again, we're not sitting down in the chair now. We're staying in our feet. So the weight is under the feet the whole time. And we're trying to promote freedom and range for these mechanics. Right? And then that also produces ability to find comfortable neutral standing there. Now, you should have your chairs set up just like I talked about. So come over to your right side chair Face your right side chair, fingertips touching the chair, and we rock into the toes, middle of feet, heels, middle of feet, toes, middle of feet, heels. So it's this rocking. Eventually, you want to be able to do this without leaning on your chair very much. So just have just a light touch of the chair for emergency. But see if you can get the feeling of how you could retain your own balance through this rock and rock. Now, rock into your toes, stay in your toes, use your chair for support as you lift your heels all the way up, and then heels all the way down. Rock back into the heels and pull the balls of the feet up, the toes up. And then let's do that a couple of times. Forward and lift, down, back, lift the toes, down, forward and lift, down, back and lift, and down. Now, hands fully resting on that chair, walk your feet back. Now, this is basically downward facing dog from yoga. So you keep your legs pretty much straight, and that same junction where the legs meet the hips, fold there. So you stick your butt way back, stretching the legs, stretching the back, stretching the shoulders. And then we back out of it a little bit. So lift the chest, let the hips come forward, takes the pressure out of it. And then do it again. Hip hinge, fold, downward facing dog. Chest up, hips forward. Twice more. Fold. And up. One more. Hip hinge, fold. And up. Now, chest up, hips come a little forward. Walk your feet all the way close to this chair. Stand up once again, finding Zhongjung, central upright, that straight line down through your body to the earth, and turn and face forward. Now, I noticed a couple people just showed up, so I'm going to take 1 second to describe the setup here. So again, you need 2 chairs, one on this side, one on this side, with the backs of the chairs facing in. That allows you to have support when we start to do our balance practice. And then we have this third chair here in case you need to sit down, take a break at any moment. So this setup, if you can create this setup, you'll get the most out of these Monday classes. Everything's built around this setup. Okay, so now we've got a chair on the right side. Stand close enough to it that you can touch it. I'm going to just turn it slightly so that you can see my angle, but you guys just keep facing straight ahead, and I'll often change my angle so you can see. Okay, so now you've got 2 legs, right? So you got a middle and then 2 legs. So from this middle, shift your body weight more to your right leg, and then find the middle where you're using both legs, and then shift over more into the left leg. The important part here is that this space that I was talking about in the hips, rather than being stuck and having to lean kind of like a wooden soldier, if we're loose here inside of the body, we can change. So I haven't taken my feet off the ground in any way, but just by melting over here, I've made this my full leg and this my empty leg. So you see how this leg now has properties of movement, but not because I'm grabbing it and yanking on this leg, but rather the opposite. I've relaxed through this leg. So this is a basic Tai Chi idea. Now, from inside here, shift over to your left leg. And again, melt down. So James, you should be facing forward at this point. Face forward. Face forward. Yeah, face forward. So even if I turn now, you don't turn. You stay facing forward. So again, we're shifting. Now add this challenge. You can have the hand on the chair. Can you slide this empty foot forward, back, and then behind, middle, forward, middle, behind. So notice it's because my weight is here that this leg has properties of levity. It can move. And then back to middle. Can you slide this leg out, in, out, in? And again, what's most important is that you notice that when I slide this leg out, I'm not going with it. My body stays here and this leg is sliding. And then this same empty leg, turn it out, neutral, turn it in, neutral, out, neutral, in. So all of these abilities to move come from this leg being empty, and this leg is made empty by this leg being full. So this is primary. Switch. Put all your weight into your right leg. This left leg now is the empty leg. Can you slide forward, middle, back, middle? Remember, use the chair as much as needed to give you the courage to practice what it is that we're practicing. Commit to one so the other is free. Sideways, out, slide in, out, in, out, in. Now rotation, turn out, neutral, in. Now let's just skip neutral, turn out, in, out, in. Right? And what happens when I'm working with folks most of the time is that we're stuck in both legs and then kind of yanking on the leg to try to turn it. And that's where people get in trouble, when we're stuck in both legs and then we have to turn and we sort of yank on the body, and that's where falling can happen. Whereas if you can shift to one, then this can turn, and then you could shift and turn and move your body. So it's a technique to be more safe and to be smoother, right? Now, put all your weight in your left leg. Lift the right heel. Get to the tippy toe of this empty foot. So what you'll notice here is when I do that, my knee goes forward, my heel comes up, and then place the heel down. And then switch. Put all your weight in your right leg. Heel lift, get to the tippy toe. Back down. Switch again. So from your middle, shift into your left leg. Lift to the tippy toe. Back down. Shift. Stay in your right leg the whole time that you lift the heel, lower the heel, switch. Go into your left leg. Lift to the tippy toe, back down, switch. Now, lift to the tippy toe, hand on the chair, and disconnect the foot from the floor. So challenge yourself to disconnect just a little bit. Place the whole foot down with no body weight, and then switch. Shift into your other leg. Now you've got an empty leg, tippy toe, disconnect, place it down, shift. Tippy toe lift, down, shift. Tippy toe lift, place it down, then shift. One more. Then. Now, hand on the chair for sure so we can go full range. So you empty one of your legs, go to the tippy toe, and lift the knee all the way up. Place the foot all the way down. Now repeat on the same leg 3 more times. So what we're training here is full, empty, keeping this empty on the way down and the way up and the way down and on the way up and on the way down. Now we switch from the middle, shift. Now this is the empty leg, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down, lift. Now let's switch each time. So you got your middle, from your middle, change so your weight goes down your left leg, lift your right. Place the right foot down. Now change the weight into the right leg. So your left leg is empty. Lift, down, and then switch. Lift, down, switch. Lift, down. One more. So in Tai Chi, this is called separating empty and full. Really, really underlying infrastructural skill required for anything else, okay? So now that hopefully your mind found your middle's able to use one leg and then switch to the other, right? This empty and full. Let's put that into the next challenge. So make sure you're near your right side chair, back up a little bit, and then put all your weight into your left leg and put your right heel out in front. So the key to this is that full and empty. This is an empty leg and it's out in front and the toes are up. Now, shift the weight down through your right leg, down to the earth. Your body moves forward. Go down through the foot that's behind you. Go down. Your body moves back. Relaxed and loose, nothing special happening up here. Just from your middle, down, down. Try to 100% commit to the right leg and then 100% commit to the left leg. And then 100% and 100%. Keep doing that, please. Couple more. Now, the next time you're in your back leg, stay there. Hand on the chair. Your front leg empty. Lift. Lower the heel out in front and shift. Now, once you've committed to your right leg, your back leg, do a little flamingo. Bend the knee. Then put the toe back where it was behind you and shift. 100% in your back leg should allow levity in your front leg. Someday you can try this with no hands, but you have your chair for safety. Shift. So this is a good test. You can really feel whether or not you got empty and full separated. Right? When I lift, can my body stay just upright and relaxed? Shift. Can my body be relaxed, connecting me to the ground so that this foot is free? And then the third challenge, hand on the chair. Let's go full lift. Heel down. Shift. Back leg. Bring that knee forward and up. Reach the foot behind. Shift. We're training our middle. Lift. Down. Shift. Forward and up. Reach back. Shift. Now, same set on the other side of the body. So bring your feet together. Side step over. Now you got your other chair for safety. Put all your weight in your right leg. Left foot out in front. Level 1 is a good time to practice no hands. Shift. Shift. The most important part is that I'm moving forward and back. You're moving forward and back in space, but not because you're leaning forward from up here. or leaning back from up here. This whole torso is just like when we were seated meditating. It's just relaxed. It's got vertical axis. And so the saying is the primary direction is down, down. That's what moves us. Now, hand on the chair. Let's go lift, lower, shift. Back leg empty. Lift, touch the toe down, shift. Once you've committed to the back leg, this leg can now lift, lower, shift. Someday you might challenge yourself and not use the chair and see if you can really commit to one leg. Lift, lower, shift. But really do use the chair where it's helpful to, once again, give you the courage to practice posture, vertical alignment. Let's go level 3, full lift. Heel softly touch down, shift. Back leg, forward and up. Reach the toe behind, no body weight, shift. Again, someday maybe you'll try this no hands, but again, be very careful. Falling is quite a problem, right? We don't want to have ever one fall, but we also want to challenge our edge. So become able to challenge your edge safely. Okay, now feet together, side step, back to where we started. So we take that same concept and just take it one step further, literally. Put all your weight into your left leg, right foot in front with no weight. So we got this. Now, shift down through your right leg. Now, importantly, step your back foot without any weight in it. So it's empty. Then shift into it. And then we do that in reverse. Shift into your back leg. Take this front leg and step it behind empty. Notice how when I step the foot, my body doesn't go back. It's when I shift, that's when the body goes back. So shift, the body moves. When you step, the body does not move. But then when you shift, the body moves. Shift, the body moves. Step, the body does not move. And then you shift. Shift, step, shift. So eventually, once you have that control back of shift, step without shifting, and then shift, then you can just flow it and it looks as though there's just seamless. There's just floating forward and floating backwards. But you have to find full empty, full empty, full empty. Now that's level 1. Let's go level 2. Hand on the chair, lift, lower, shift. Now there's an obstacle. Pick up your foot, step over it, shift. Back leg empty, little flamingo, toe down, shift. Now this one, the tricky one here, float up, tuck, reach, and then shift. Now once the weight's in your back leg, lift, lower, now shift, down. Once this back leg is empty, it can lift, step over, set down in front, and shift. Back leg, bend the knee, touch the toe down, shift. Wait until it's actually empty, then it can move. And then change. Wait until you got your mountain, and then you got your cloud. And then mountain, change. Now this one's the cloud. And then mountain, cloud. And then finally, the full range. Use the chair so you can confidently lift, lower, shift, and then full range with this leg, heel to butt, knee to chest, foot out, lower the heel, shift, and then forward and up, reach back, shift. Now, up, tuck, reach, shift, up, down, shift. And we got full range, shift. And together. Side step, change sides. Level 1, best time to practice no hands. Put all your weight in your right leg so your left foot is free to step. Shift. Once your back foot is empty, then step without shifting, and then shift. And then we go in reverse. Shift. Once this front foot's truly empty, step it, and then shift. From the middle, down through one leg so the other leg is free, down through that leg so the other leg is free. Shift, step, shift. Shift, step, shift. Shift, step, shift. Hand on the chair, lift, lower, shift. Now, small obstacle on the floor. Pick up that right foot, step it over, touch down the heel, and then shift. Like a little flamingo, lift and lower, and then shift. Now, once his front leg is empty, lift, tuck, reach, all without any weight, then shift. This leg, lift, lower, shift. Small obstacle, step over, shift. Bend the knee, and separate empty and full. Mountain and cloud, and then what was just a cloud has to become the mountain, and what was a mountain has to be a cloud. Mountain and cloud, mountain and cloud. When you do it this way, you are never not grounded. That's the key. So we're never just like hoping to be grounded. We're grounded the whole time. So same idea here. Lift, right? So we're grounded through this leg, still grounded through this leg. And then we transfer so we're grounded through this leg. Then it's full range of motion. We're still grounded, and then shift, still grounded. So it's like we're always plugged into the earth. Up, tuck, reach. Always plugged into the earth. And one of the most difficult parts of Tai Chi is this emphasis on relax. Relax. Because, especially when walking or dealing with balance issues, is this fear. That fear tenses us up and makes us less capable of softening. But it's that softening that gives us connection down, which then leads to smoothness and speed and right, all of that agility that Tai Chi can offer. Okay. Now let's come to the far left of your space. Turn and face down range. Level 1 walking all the way across, forward and backward. So all the weight in your right leg, put your left foot in front. Shift. Step without shifting, shift. So emphasize this sensation, this feeling of stepping without advancing in the room, and then advancing in the room by letting the weight go down through the leg and connecting to the ground. Stepping without advancing. So step your foot, your body should not lurch forward. should not move forward. So when this foot steps, your body does not go anywhere. And then it moves when you let the weight go down through that leg. So focus on that idea. Step without shifting, shift. That moves you forward. Same thing when going in reverse. So it's down through the leg. That's the body moving backwards. When you step, you do not move backwards. The foot goes back, but the body does not. And then when you shift, the whole body moves backwards. Step without moving backwards. Shift. That's when you move. Step without moving backwards. Shift. That's when you move. Step, shift. Let's do that again. So again, please try to get this skill of, okay, when I shift down through one leg, the body moves forward. When I step, my body does not move forward. Then when I go down through the leg, it moves forward. When I step, it does not. Down, step, down, step, down. In reverse, same thing. Down, step without moving the body, and then down. Step without moving the body, down, step, down, step, down. If you slow down enough to separate that, eventually it's just down and the foot is floating, and then down, 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 down. So then it gets back to just natural walking. And you can think that there's this sort of falling forward in the walk, but there isn't. If you see in my body, I have this vertical line, this floating that's happening, floating. But yet now it's like a constant forward or a constant back, but I'm not falling forward into my step. There's just this float. All right? Couple more, just try to get that flow to it now. And just keep saying in your head, down, down, down. So see if you can time with your mind like a mantra, the down, 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 down. All right. Turn, face forward once again. Let's do our side walking. Out, in. We're going to do that a few times. Out, in, out, in, out, in. Now, out, leave that foot out there, down through this leg, keep the other foot on the ground so that your quad has to open, and then down through this leg, and then down. So we're moving sideways in space once again, just by going down. Notice I'm not leaning and leaning, just vertical, connecting down, connecting down. Now stay down through your right leg, bring your left foot in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And bring that left foot in, keep it in from your middle, down through the left. See if you can sort of free that right foot from the ground, and then go down through the right. Can you free your left foot? Down to free this one. Down. So this one's got levity. Take care of the gravity through one leg so the other foot has levity. And then and one more, down. Now with the weight in your left leg, step your right foot out, and then go down through your right leg, bring your left foot in, and then down through your left leg, right foot out. So now we're traveling to your right, in, down, out, down, in. Remember that vertical axis still intact the whole time. The jong jong, and then out, down, step in, down, step out, down, in. grounded the entire time. Now, I love using this walk for intermediate Tai Chi training. So let's shift to the right from your middle pivot, turn a little to the right, sweep those hands over to the right. And then shift to the left, turn, sweep. Shift, turn, sweep. The bear washing paws in the stream, shift, turn, brush, sweep. Now let's add the walk. So it's shift, turn, brush, sweep, step in. The weight goes down through your left leg, turn, brush, sweep. Now your right foot should be empty so you can step out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step out. Shift and turn, brush, sweep, step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step out. Now once more, shift and turn, brush and sweep, step that left foot in, then back out. Let's go the other way. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step in. Feel free to do the bear swirls the stream now. Shift, turn, brush, and swirl, step in. Shift, turn, brush, and swirl the stream, step out. Shift, turn. Right, and again, we're training this middle to retain its sort of internal equilibrium, even with everything changing, the whole body changing. Let's go there and back again. The bear swats the jumping fish. Brush knee, swat the fish, right? So this hand is up around chest level, and then step in. As that left hand goes down, right arm floats up. Now we're ready to shift into the left leg. Turn, brush, swat that fish, stepping out, simultaneously switching the arms. And then shift, turn, brush, swat. Can you step and switch the arms at the same time so that you can flow right into shift, turn, brush, swat? Simultaneous. As the arms are changing, step so that you flow right into. As the arms are switching, step in. Shift and turn. Brush and swat. As the arms are switching, step out. Shift and turn. Changing directions. Left foot in, out. So James, notice on this one, you don't want your arms at the same level. That's the whole thing. You want to be clear. Left hand low, right hand high, right? That's what is the challenge for the brain, is to keep that awareness of separation, and then they change. So what was low goes high, what's high goes low, and they stay low and high. And then they change again, stepping out. Shifting, turning, brushing, swatting. That's right. And then they change again. Shift and turn, brush and swat. Then they change again. We're battling against the stuckness, how the brain and body get stuck. You forgot to change. Don't forget to change. Brush and swat. And then just wash, wash, set. Now come stand in between your chairs so that you've got support on either side. Pour all your weight into your left leg. Turn the right leg out and turn the pelvis and turn your shoulders. So turn your whole body as open as you can to your right, then neutral, and then closing. Turn the leg internally, but also turn the hips, turn the shoulders to your left, and then neutral. open, turning out, neutral, closing, turning in. Now skip neutral, open, close. Make sure you're clear on the left leg is your sturdy leg, and everything else is empty. Now, same exercise, other arrangement. Put all the weight in your right leg. Left leg turns out, body turns open, neutral, and then close. Open, close. Open, so the hips are turning a bit, the shoulders are turning, you're sort of twisting a little bit as well. So there's a little bit of that winding and twining of the body. And then back to neutral. Put the weight in your left leg. Open to the right. Put all the weight in the right leg. Bring the left foot to match the right foot. Let's do that again. Down through the left leg. Open. And then down through your right leg, closing to neutral. And then down through your left leg, open. So you should be quarter turning to your right, going around in a circle to your right. Open, close to neutral. Open, close to neutral. And I want these to become familiar to you all so that you don't feel like you have to stare at the screen. Because if you've done it enough, you start to go, oh yeah, that exercise, right? So this exercise is one we've done many times. So it's a good training for you to try to retain that and remember what it is that we're doing, if you can, right? So that's the beauty of having something systematic. Now, switch. So your right leg holds the weight, open to your left, and then close to neutral. Put the weight through your right leg, open to the left. So you're doing a full circle, quarter turning to your left. Put the weight in the right leg, open, and close. Go around twice. Open, close. So importantly, the two phases of open, neutral. Two phases. Open, close to neutral. Open. Right? Which is a different way of thinking about turning. So what gets people in trouble with turning is sort of turning the body, right? You can see how that is very dangerous. If I go to turn and I turn from up here and I cross over, I get caught on my feet. That's how many, many falls happen. Walking and then something's over here and we turn from up here and bang. Versus my weight is down and I've opened, right? You see the difference there. One is uprooted and stiff. The other is open, close, open, close, right? So from your middle, opening and closing, it's a different way of driving the vehicle, right? So it's like we're driving our vehicle incorrectly. Open, right? So now with that same idea, put all the weight in your left leg. Instead of opening, now close. And then shift the weight into the right leg, and now you should be quarter turn to your left. Doing it again, the right leg empty, close, closing, and then neutral. Closing, sort of pigeon toe, pinching closed, and then neutral. A lot of times people don't even know the body does this, but it does. Pigeon toe close, neutral. Let's do that again. Pigeon toe close, neutral. So it's a way of turning and seeing what's over there in a way that keeps you ready and centered. Again, close, right? You see what my body's doing. Close. This is my sturdy leg. This is my empty leg. turn, turn. Now going the other way, turn, neutral, close, neutral. And maybe this helps with the hands. That's something that can help. Hands like so. Turn the backs of the hands to each other as you close. And then neutral. Close. Neutral. Close. Neutral. Close. Neutral. You should be changing weight into one leg, changing into the other leg. And then finally, let's put all those together for the full turnaround. Right leg empty, turn open. Shift the weight through the right leg, turn the left leg closed, and you should be able to reorient yourself somewhere around 180 degrees in 2 foot movements. So it's right leg and body turn out, that's opening. Change the weight to the right leg, you go through neutral to closing, and then reorient, and you should be 180 degrees or somewhere in that region. Eventually, you can get even more than that, right? When everything can turn out, I can turn my foot more than 90, right? I can get a 100 and some odd degrees, and then I can get even more. So now I went facing that way all the way to here in 2 foot movements. So that's what's available with the body. But at first, we just want to be able to go here, wait, here, and face away from that direction. 1, down, 2, and neutral. And then let's do a few in the other direction. Left foot turn out, 1, shift into the left leg, pigeon toe, close, 2, facing 180 degrees. And then turn left leg out, 90 or so, put the weight down through it, and then close, 180 degrees. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. One more time around. All right. Now, facing forward, come to the right side chair, and we're going to go shifting the weight into the right leg, touch behind the toe, and then parallel, touch behind, shift, touch, shift, touch. Continue doing that, please. So it's shift, touch. Set it back down. So again, you see the importance of middle, 1 full, empty, shift, and now, hand on the chair, we step behind and press that heel down. Bring yourself back to the tippy toe, step, behind, press that heel. Tippy toe, step, step behind, press the heel. With this one, ideally, you keep your body weight mostly in this standing leg. Even as you push this heel down, you don't lean back. You stay in this leg here. And release, step, couple more, step, press, release. Last one. And stand. Now, you got your hand on your right side chair, left leg empty. External, lift to the tippy toe, lift a little, close, and then float that leg down to in neutral. Externally rotate, lift, close, down, turn out, lift, close, down, turn out, lift up, over, down, turn out, up and over, down. Two more. Full range, whatever that is for you today. So again, these can be really small, or they can be really large, or they can be anything in between. Now, side, shift, hand on this chair. Float this empty right leg, externally rotate, lift to the tippy toe, disconnect a little bit, close, down, turn out, tippy toe, lift a little bit, maybe a little bit higher, close, down, turn out. Lift, close, down. So a key here is the leg is elongated. It externally rotates, turns out, then lifts while still externally rotated, and then closes, down, turn out, lift. Eventually this one can have a really nice flow to it where we're circling, circling, circling. Switch back to the first side. Now, instead of turning out, turn on the ball of this foot, turn in. So see this rotation here, internal, cross, out, down. Turn on the ball of the foot, internal, cross, out, down. Internal, cross, out, down. A couple more. So spirals, spiral, 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 spiral. Switch. Turning on the ball of the foot, internal rotation, bring the knee across, up, turn out, down. Spiral, cross, out, down. So 4 main events. Turn, that's 1. Cross is 2. Open while lifted, 3. Down while still open, 4. Turn while down, then cross. Open, down. We take those 4 main events and flow them together when you can, but don't rush it. And parallel feet, hands together, rub your palms, rub the back of one hand, palms, back of other hand, palms, and then groin. Front of the groin, the inguinal crease, hip flexors, fronts of hips, tail, lower back, and then remember our squat where the hips go back, you sit your buttocks, sweep your hands down the outside of the legs, around to the inside, come all the way up the inside of the legs, past the groin to the navel, belly button. Groin, hip flexors, tail, lumbar, lower back, and then outer legs around inner legs, past the groin to the belly button. One more time. Quad, hip flexors, sacrum, lumbar, yang channel, yin channel, middle, and then yang channels of the arm. Turn the palm up, yin channels, and off. Again, turn that hand down. So we get a flow of this up, down, up the outer, down the inner. So James, don't switch your arm each time. We do 5 of them on one arm. Up the outer. So watch very closely. Watch very close. From here, all the way up. Turn the arm all the way down. So it's actually quite simple when you just break it down to what it is. It's just up, all the way, turn, down, all the way. Eventually, you can go fast. 1 and 2 and 3, but don't rush it. First, just get that flow. Now, switch sides from the fingertips all the way up the outer, turn, down the inside, down the inside, up the outside, down the inside, up, down, up, down, up, down, and bounce and close. Wing, roll, fold. Settle right to the belly level. Turn your palms face in. And then let's seal the practice. 1, 2. Thank you so much, everybody. Great job. If there are any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Make sure you know where your chair is when you go to sit down.
Thanks, Otto.
Good to see you, Gail. How was that? Okay?
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the real practice begins, right? When you
Yeah,
head off to wherever you're off to next.
right, right. Did you ever see now I can't think of the name of that thing. It's a sports thing about soccer. It's just some guy's name. Anyway,
Yeah, with that really uplifting Teddy Lasso.
yeah. Soccer is life. Tai Chi
Yeah.
is life.
Tai Chi is life.
Right?
That's a great show, by the way. It's
I love it.
almost
Yeah.
a perfect show. Yeah.
Yes. Alrighty. Bye. Thanks so much.